You're going to be gone soon. Whose phone is that?
I love to look at you all. Love to look at you all. Yeah. Happy same year.
Let's have one.
The Course of Miracles says, you know, you make all years different about making a decision to make this year all the same, which is, you know, it's going to be a year that brings you peace and love and joy. So every year ought to be the same. Just more and more joy.
Yeah.
More and more love. Okay, so I'm going to play a song and let you hear the voice of an angel. It's your voice coming through someone else. Incredible being that I met when I was over there. Was also one of the presenters, and her name is Barbara J. Hunt. And so it's cool, like when you get a chance to listen to people you know at a personal level do their thing. And I hope to see you do your thing, whatever that is. You know you got a thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And you know it's your thing, right?
Yeah.
So that means you can do with it whatever you want to do.
Until you're satisfied.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you who you're talking to. It's your thing. That's from the book of Isley Brothers. Very sacred text. I've learned a lot, so here we go. So just breathe a minute and allow yourself to get tuned in.
You look at me and I know what you want. Reach out your hand to touch me, save me.
And that's what you should say to Spirit right now. Make me come alive.
Your hands in my head,
yes.
Pulling me to you.
Imagine that's the Holy Spirit talking to you.
Put your mouth on mine, leave me shaking. Make me come alive.
So I'm asking love to make me come alive.
Don't touch my soul tonight. Leave the flame burning bright.
Breathe.
Make no music but the sound of skin to skin. Touch me again, leave me shivering. Make me come alive.
It's time to come alive.
Don't set my heart alight, and I'll make my bed for two. Take what I give as long as I'm giving you.
Take what I'm giving you as long as I'm giving you.
Touch all of me all over again. Don't touch my soul tonight. Leave my aching body alive, and then
Let the love in.
you can
It's time to come
make me
alive.
come alive.
It's time to come alive.
You can
You can.
make me come alive.
You can make God come alive in you. love come alive in you. It's time to make God come alive, love come alive, truth come alive, freedom come alive, happiness come alive in you.
No one said it would be easy. No one said that at times it would get so hard. I don't know where to find the reasons, but you should know that I really do understand.
Who knows where we are?
Bookmark in 193. I've got 191.
We are everywhere.
We're everywhere.
We're all over the board here, man.
We're on 192.
You got your bookmark there.
It's not very effective, so it doesn't matter.
And on page 192 it says, love appeals to you through the heart. God appeals to you through your heart. Your heart has not been open to the appeals of love, partially because of your use of concepts. Concepts have been used to order your world and to assist your mind in keeping track of all that's in it. You use concepts. It's interesting. You use concepts to assist you in keeping track of everything in your mind. Your mind doesn't need this assistance. In other words, your mind doesn't need your concepts. That's interesting. Your mind doesn't need your concepts. Wow. To begin to conceptualize in ways that touch your heart will free your mind of its reliance on thought concepts, thus allowing your heart and your mind to speak the same language or to be communicated with in the same way. So in that one sentence, I was told how to get my heart and mind to speak the same language. So let's see what it said. It says, so if you're going to conceptualize at all, he says, then you should be coming up with concepts that touch your heart. If you're going to come up with concepts, then you should be coming up with concepts that touch your heart, that move your heart. And then it says, if you come up with concepts that touch your heart, it will free your mind. If you come up with concepts that touch your heart, it will free your mind of its reliance on concepts. So loving concepts frees my mind from constantly focusing on concepts. I think that we focus on concepts more than we focus on being. Yeah, yeah. I think all day long we got a bunch of concepts about everything that we're running around in our mind all day, and then trying to see if our concepts are right. And he says, well, if you're going to come up with concepts, actually, you're just trying to keep track of what you think is in your mind. Your mind really doesn't need your concepts. Actually, it's your concepts that's slowing your mind down.
Wow.
So if you're going to have a concept that touches your heart, because if you have a concept that touches your heart, it will free your mind. A concept that touches your heart will free your mind. A concept that touches your heart will free your mind from what? Its reliance on all your thoughts and your concepts. Isn't it great that we don't have to believe this?
Yeah.
And we don't have to accept it, and we don't have to welcome it, and some of it's going to be hard to believe and startling. So don't think you have to believe any of this, okay? All right. It says, there has been a division between the language of your mind and the language of your heart. Your mind insists on thinking and learning in a certain way. Actually, a way contrary to the language of your heart. And so, like two people speaking Like two people from different countries speaking different languages, there has been little communication and much misunderstanding between your mind and your heart.
Wow.
Your mind and your heart are speaking two different languages. And so there's a lot of communication going on between your mind and your heart. Occasionally, the problems associated with the lack of common language. So your problems are really coming from a lack of a common language. So we're being told our problems are not coming from things in the world. Our problems are coming from a lack of communication between our minds and our hearts. You don't have a money problem, you got a mind not communicating with its heart problem. You don't have a relationship problem, you got a mind not communicating with your heart problem. You don't have a health problem, you got your mind's not communicating with your heart problem. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
That what's causing all of my problems is the fact that my heart is speaking a different language from my mind.
Wow.
So, occasionally the problems associated with the lack of common language have been set aside when the actions needed in a certain circumstance have demanded cooperation. Sometimes it gets so tough, you just have to bring them together. You have to bring your mind and your heart together. You see this in times of emergency or crisis of every kind. And like the two people from different countries who do not understand each other, working together momentarily diminishes the boundaries of language, and a temporary solidarity is formed through like action. At such times, two strangers who are foreign to one another might recognize that the other's heart is in the right place with two people. As with mind and heart, it is the place of no division. The unification of mind and heart that produces right action currently occurs primarily in crisis situations because of the lack of shared language. So basically, we wait till some kind of crisis for us to come together. And then when a crisis comes together, we finally unite our minds, our hearts together, whether we believe differently or not. So we're doing it the screwed up way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, I don't want a crisis to draw me into my heart. I don't want to always to have some kind of emergency situation going on before I really get my act together. That's basically what I was hearing us be told in a very loving way. You know, even though you speak two different languages, you come together when there's a crisis of some kind. He says so because unifying your mind and your heart produces right action. And if you are experiencing conflict, then conflict is the result of your mind and your heart not being joined. So in case you're wondering if you fall in the category of whether or not your mind and heart is communicating, all you have to do is ask yourself, what part of your life are you experiencing conflict in? That's where your mind and your heart are not communicating. It's where you are behaving the way you think you should without really wanting to, or it's where you're doing a bunch of stuff you just don't want to do. That's where your mind and your heart is in conflict. They're not in communication. Wow. Because if your mind and your heart are unified, it produces right action. And if you're going to have concepts, then you should have concepts that touch your heart, because concepts that touch your heart will free your mind from reliance on its own thoughts. Because basically, the spiritual path is getting to the point that you're no longer relying on your thoughts, but you're relying on the thoughts of God, the thought of infinite intelligence. You know, in fact, you're so smart, you know you need to rely on something greater than you. That's the sign that you got some sense. How can I tell I'm in the presence of an intelligent, aware, wise being? Every other sentence is, what would my spirit want me to do? What would God want me to do? What would love want me to do? What would my higher self want me to do? What would that which created me want me to do? When I'm hearing somebody talking like that, I go, oh, I'm around an awakening being. But if you're around people and all they talk about is what they're going to do, then you're around beings that are innocent and beautiful and asleep. So the more you hear then you communicate with somebody that's asleep.
Yeah.
Because someone that's awake is going us, we, God, us, we. They're talking about their we. And the issue is whether you got a big wee or a little wee.
Now wait a minute. Oh, you go wee.
Yeah, wee. Right. So I'm gonna ask you tonight, do you have a little wee wee or do you have a big wee wee?
Big wee wee.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody should have a big wee wee. So together, all together now, we have a big wee wee.
We have a big
We
wee
have
wee.
a big wee wee. Okay, isn't that wonderful?
Right.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Okay. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta figure this out, I gotta do this, I got to do that, I got to sleep. They're asleep, they're dead asleep. So your job when you're around somebody asleep is to help them be safe. You know what I'm saying? If I woke up in a room full of my friends and everybody was asleep except me, I would be the guard. Wouldn't I? I'd be the one kind of like looking out for them while they're asleep. So when you wake up to who you really are and you recognize that most of your brothers and sisters are asleep in the I land, then you just want them to have as much safety as possible, so you become the safest person for them to be with. That's how you protect them. You don't criticize them, you don't judge them, you don't do anything but want to be a way for them to be nurtured, loved, and protected. Okay, because they have a very little wee wee. They're told into me, me, I. Check out how many I's you hear in a paragraph. I gotta do it. Okay? So if you are doing it by yourself, it's because your mind and your heart are not communicating. You're not doing things that you can get your heart into, and you're not using concepts that are coming from love to free your mind. You're thinking all day, but you're not thinking conceptual love thoughts. Right? All the things that we think are mysterious problems are not mysterious at all. They're very obvious. But there's nothing that's harder for a mind that's asleep to see than the obvious. You know from the very beginning if somebody's right for you. You know instantly. But sometimes you just decide to go ahead and deal with it anyway. But you know. You know. You know from the very beginning. We all do. That's the difference between, you know, that's where fate comes in and destiny comes in. It's like, to me, fate and destiny. What is your fate? Well, your fate is to experience anything that you don't choose to take responsibility for creating. You're guaranteed to experience that. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be your fate to have that relationship that was really challenging when you knew at the very beginning it wasn't the right one for you, but you decided to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's because you had decided to give yourself that lesson no matter what. That's why you went ahead and did it even though you knew from the very beginning. You know you're on a job you hate. You know every day if that's how you feel. You know, but you go anyway because it's your fate to learn the lessons that's associated with having that job. How do you know that? Well, you're not choosing to do nothing else. So give yourself a break. It's a path you've chosen. And every second of every day, no matter what situation you're in the optimal situation to wake up to who you really are. Your life is your personal ashram. I just want to make sure mine has central air and heating. Any questions about anything? Any comments? Yeah, brother.
Okay, I do have a question because since I've been coming to Course of Love and Course of Miracles,
Mhm.
the way I understand it is that my thoughts determine my reality, right?
Yeah, your thoughts determine your reality. Your thoughts. What is even easier to get is my thoughts determine my perception of reality.
But then, so then, is my heart in charge or is my mind in charge?
When you wake up, your heart's in charge. And what you're using your mind for right now is you're using your mind to give you concepts that will allow you to make that connection with your heart. Right? That's what the studying is. That's what the reading is. You're giving your mind loving concepts so that it will free itself from its own thoughts. You're using your own mind to free yourself from your own limiting thoughts.
Connected to the heart.
And because you want to follow your heart. All of us do. The reality that we are looking for is going to come through feeling. It's not going to come through thinking. Sorry. Where we're trying to go, it's going to come through feeling. Your capacity to feel. It's not going to be your capacity to think. You can tell me you love me all night long, but it's not until I allow myself to feel it that it has any meaning to me. You can tell me words all. Why you get so attracted to one person and not another person? It's usually because of the feelings that they evoke in you. Where you feel around them, where they turn you on. But it's really you turning yourself on about them. Because they meet some model in your mind for what turns you on. And heaven help the person that doesn't meet that model. They're not getting any juice. Y'all know they're not getting no energy whatsoever. And then we call it chemistry. I like that. Because we don't have chemistry. You know, chemists blow themselves up too. You know, that's where some people are, right? It's like you mix the wrong chemicals. And that relationship blows up in your face, you know, right in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a relationship and y'all had a public scene where you just lost your mind right in front of everybody so you could really feel innocent?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because the thing that you don't hide is the thing that you can feel the most innocent about, in a way, you know. Yeah, and you beat yourself up for a much longer period of time than the actual act took. You know, it might have been 30 seconds of you acting just a total fool. All right, just 30 seconds of fool, you know. But you'll beat yourself up for 10 years.
Yeah.
About 30 seconds of calling for help because you got scared and you thought you were going to lose. And so you lost it. That's all it is. That's all that is. You were afraid you were going to lose the love in that situation. The person who could see would know you were just afraid and you just wanted to be reminded that you couldn't lose and that you were safe and that you were appreciated. But they got lost in the form that you made the call in, which was cussing them out. You see, I don't answer calls for love when somebody calls me a bastard. But if they say, oh, please help me, so please, then I'm like, oh, okay. But if they call for help like saying, you black bastard, sometimes I don't recognize those calls for love. I just want to kick some ass. But that don't work for me no more. One of my greatest defenses don't work anymore. Because everything I give comes back faster and more. I'm trapped in the truth. Help me. I have to practice the truth. I don't have any choice. I have to be loving. Because when I'm not, it comes back instantly. Because I'm waking up. There's not that time lag between when I think something and feel it and then it manifests like it used to be. Do you know that what you call karma is nothing but the effect of a thought you had a long time ago manifesting now?
Wow.
And then you forgot you were the one that created it, so then you blame it on something outside of yourself, and that's karma.
Wow, that's karma.
Yeah. I don't deserve to be loved. I don't trust women. Okay? I put that thought out there, and then there's a period of time between when you think something and when it manifests in the third dimension, because in the third dimension, we tried to love ourselves enough to give us a little time lag to get our act together before our thought actually showed up. So it's not instantaneous in the third dimension because we need to learn how to be responsible for our thoughts and to be loving. Imagine if every thought you had instantaneously manifested when you thought it. You'd have a very chaotic day. So there needs to be a little time lag between when you think of something and when it shows up. So I don't trust women thought. I put that out there. Then I meet somebody that seems to be in a female form that mistreats me, and I say it's their fault that I'm unhappy. But the truth is, I am meeting the result of a thought I had in the past now, and then blaming it on somebody else, which keeps me unaware that I'm the one creating it. So ask yourself, what kind of thoughts must you have had to have the life you have now? What kind of thoughts did you have in the past to produce the situation you're in right now? Just ask yourself that question. That's a powerful question. For you to be in the situation that you're in financially, in your relationship, in your career, in your health, in your job, in your emotional state right now, what thoughts must you have had in the past for that to be your present reality? Because you're surely experiencing the effect of a thought you had. But you don't realize it because you forgot you even had the thought. Because now you might be telling yourself you're real positive. See, now today you're going, well, I love everybody. Then why did that show up? Well, you had the thought a few months ago that you hated everybody. So you kind of like seeing that coming at you right now. So this is the perfect time for you to use all your new high loving consciousness. If you're ever going to be that nice person you think you are, with these folk, this is the chance to try. And then all of a sudden you start laughing at your creation and having fun with your creation, and then it immediately dissipates and heals and is gone.
Yeah.
Because then you go, oh my God, woo, this is my past thought about money coming up right now. Wow, I used to have some really lame thoughts about money. And so then you go, what can I appreciate about this situation and what can it teach me? Because as soon as I try to find in this situation that I produced from the past something that can help me in it, it transforms it. And it becomes a blessing instead of a curse. Then your financial situation blesses you no matter how little money you have. Because you're going, okay, I've created this in the past, this lack thought is manifesting, and what can I see in this situation that benefits me? Well, it's making me aware that I need to be more conscious about what I focus in on and how much I see love in myself and in everybody around me. It's an opportunity for me to remember that I'm sustained by God and not by money. You know, how can I take this situation and turn it to my advantage? How can I feel very successful about my failures? Because you never had a failure, because every failure taught you something, so it really gave you a gift, and so how can you say you ever failed? So the whole idea of failure is a crock too. This is when I realized, when I hear the truth, I realize I'm being given another way I could look at it that would make me feel better. Why don't I have sense enough to use it? Sometimes I wonder about us. It's like, I'm being given another way of looking at things that would make me feel better. Guaranteed, but I won't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? That's stupid. And I don't like to be stupid, and I don't like to be called stupid, so I call myself stupid, so I stop.
There you go.
But if I say it's not stupid, it's just okay, then I'll keep on doing it because it's okay. But if I tell myself that's a dumb move, my mind goes, you don't want to do dumb moves, do you? No, I don't want to do dumb moves. But I let my metaphysical, new age, spiritual talk tell me to say, oh, that's just great. And it is, but then it ain't. So I need to be able to tell myself things that will make me stop doing stupid stuff. It's so much fun to do this stuff.
I'm confused now, no?
Good.
Yeah.
Because if you're confused, it means that you're no longer completely invested in the old way you were looking at it.
There you go.
So confusion is a very high state. If you're not confused, you're not learning. So if you're disoriented right now, you don't even know who you're here, who you are, where you're at. I thought I was at the pavilions. It's a good sign. You're learning right now. So the formation of a shared language can thus be seen to aid in unification. So the fact that we're all studying the same thing gives us a shared language, so it helps us join. Having a shared language helps you join. Then it says, the embrace can now be likened to the starting point of a shared language, a language shared by mind and heart and by all people. It's a language of images and concepts that touch the heart and serve the mind. So what do I need to do? I need to come up with images and concepts that touch my heart and serve my mind. I want you to touch my heart and serve my mind. That should be the purpose of a relationship. I want you to touch my heart and serve my mind. You know, help my mind, serve my mind, touch my heart, serve my mind. Touch my heart, serve my mind. As a result of being with you, my mind works better. There's more peace in it. Touch my heart, serve my mind. I should be coming up with concepts and ideas that touch my heart and serve my mind, that will aid unification. Conflict between mind and heart occurs for an additional reason as well. So here's a brand new reason for a conflict. Oh, great. Although this conflict has at its root the problems of language as determined by perception, this is a problem of meaning. What does that mean? The mind and heart interpret meaning in different ways. Your mind interprets the meaning of something different from the way your heart interprets the meaning of something. It's like your heart is giving this class a different meaning than your mind is. This class means more to your heart in a certain way, and it means another thing to your mind. Some people come to a class like this just because it feels good. They don't even care about any of the concepts that's being shared. Some people come because they like the mental stimulation and actually become afraid if any feelings show up. And some people want both of them. They come in because they're being mentally stimulated and they feel touched by the people that are here. And those are the ones that always join. And they always come back. Not saying if you don't come back, you're not cool. It might be if you don't come back, you're doing me a favor. You know, sometimes it's like good when people don't come back. See, that's when you know you're getting it. When you're just as happy when I'm here and just as happy when I'm gone. Now I know love is beginning to happen. That's deep. My specialist doesn't like that at all. My specialist wants to feel like if I'm not around, you are sad. And you are missing me. And nobody else that you're with come anywhere near me in being tantalized. Anybody else relate to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My specialists don't want to treat everybody the same stuff. You know, I want you to treat me better. I always wanted a little bit better. I wanted a little bit better so much, I never enjoy anything now.
Wow.
I don't have time to be in the now of enjoying this. It's got to be better. I'm after the better. I want the better car. I want the better car. I want the better body. I want the better class. It's got to be better. It's got to be more. It can be more pain, more sorrow. I just got to have more. This is a horrible relationship. Give me more horror. You know, sometimes you can create relationships that are just an absolute perfect pattern for your guilt. Y'all just match so beautifully. You think you're crap, and they treat you as such. It's just the perfect marriage of hell. And you can't get away. You be trying to get away. The postman called and you be, help. But you can't get away. And you look down and you see no chains, no ropes, no bars. It's the worst kind of imprisonment. You doing it to yourself. That's cruel. I can see the judge say that. We sentence you to 20 years with you. What a horrible sentence. I treat me worse than anybody. That's why we are sending you to you. I tell you, you're on trial for abusing yourself. You know, you be like standing outside, you like get out the chair and walk around in front of yourself. And on the night of March 29th, did you make yourself feel guilty about eating apple pie? And then you sitting on, then you walk around on the other side, get in the chair and go, yes! I feel like I was gonna gain 10 pounds! And then your own self is also the judge, so then you go up at the judge seat and you sit down. I sentence you to forever with yourself. It's a life sentence. Now, that's when you're going to be talking about some serious rehabilitation. No matter how you're going to rehabilitate, rather than spend your lifetime with you the way you are, you will move toward rehabilitation. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
But isn't it true?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to do unto others as I'd have them do unto me, I'm trying to do unto me as good as I do unto others.
Wow.
I treat other people better than I treat myself. I'll forgive them quicker than I'll forgive myself. I'll have mercy on them quicker. So I'm trying to bring me up to the level of everybody else. With me. I don't really like that idea of somebody treating me the way they want to be treated anyway. Suppose they want to treat themselves like crap. You know, so that little law got a few tweaks that it needed in it. As far as I'm concerned, that whole little give unto others as you would have them do unto you was like, hey, if you don't want nobody to do unto you no kind of good way because you don't love yourself, then you're going to mistreat everybody around you because you want to be punished. Why did that guy shoot all those people the other day? Because he wants to be killed.
Yeah.
He gave what he wanted to receive. And the specialness he's getting. Being on TV, on every channel, every night, everybody talking about him. His specialness is in heaven. He's made his mark. He's above the crowd now. He's more. Better. Could it be that simple? That he just wanted to be special? Yes, it could. He wanted his 15 minutes. I just try to do it in my relationships. That's where I want to be treated personally famous. You know, I'll just spare everybody else, but at least one person's got to treat me as if I am famous. They got to be my fan. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully they'll be my groupie. If I'm lucky, they'll be my groupie too. It was a band I was going to have one time called Groupie 2. I just go off. It's so much fun. Yeah, just like, oh, I feel safe with y'all. Oh. That's what you are. When you feel safe with somebody, that's when they have fun with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the people you feel the safest with, that they see that secret self that you don't dare show nobody, even yourself.
Wow.
Then you have to stay friends because you know too much. It's like a built-in forgiveness quotient right there. You know, it's like, they know too much about me. Come on, honey, let's go out for coffee. We got to work this out. Because you have been so open and I've been so open. We just have to love each other, right? You know, the trust is in the details. It's like, how do you know somebody really trusts you? They tell you the details. They don't talk to you in abstractions. They'll say, I came home last night and I took some boiling grits and I poured it on my boyfriend because I saw a text message that he had that seemed like it was another woman wanting to be with him. If a person feels a lot of guilt and they don't trust you, they'll say, last night my ego got me. See, they didn't tell you nothing. They didn't trust you at all. It's in the details. Which friends do you have to give you details? Those are the ones that trust you. And feel innocent about sharing their stuff. That's the other part of it. You know what I'm saying? They feel innocent. That's why they can tell you. Because they feel like you're not going to really condemn them. That's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. The trust is in the details. It's like when I do counseling with people, I tell them all the time, first of all, don't try to be spiritual because that's going to blow the whole thing for both of us. Okay? And I want you to really tell me the details about your ego and what it did. Don't give me none of the abstract. It was just my ego last night that made me forget that I was the Holy Son of God. No, that's true, but give me some details. What'd you do with that skillet? Whose clothes did you throw out the window? Let's get down to the details. Now you trust me. So I used to use my spiritual teachings to hide and to form less intimate relationships in the name of getting enlightened, when I just was hiding the stuff I was ashamed of. Fortunately, nobody cares. big deal out of it. They really don't care. They just busy trying to figure how they can get what they want. What? You did what last night? Really? Well, honey, let me tell you what I'm going through. They don't care. And that's good. I'm glad don't nobody care. The most loving thing they can do is not care. Then you can go ahead and just say what you got to say. Be how you want to be yourself. Because, what you mean I don't care? Really, I've made up my mind that I'm going to love you and appreciate you and I'm here for you and we're going to be tight forever. So I don't really care what you say. So you can say anything. I'm not going nowhere. You can cuss me out and I'm not going anywhere because I've decided that I'm connected to you. And nothing's going to change that. You just got to cuss me out, and what I'd like to propose is let's go to the movie now. Because you know there's just a trick that you come up with to try to make you think we need to be separate from each other, and then we're not going to fall for it. We must have got really close last night because today we acting a damn fool. That's what you say when you really got a tight, holy relationship. Oh, we're afraid. We become afraid now. Why? Because we're blaming each other, criticizing each other, judging each other. We become afraid of love. We got too close. We got to remind ourselves it's safe to love. Now say the most dastardly thing that you ever wanted to say to me that you haven't ever said to me, so that I can show you that it has absolutely no power to affect my love for you, and then you'll feel totally innocent and you let all your grievances go.
Give a small wee wee.
Hey, dude, I'm black. What you talking about? You better use that stereotype to my advantage. But some stereotypes pay off, you know. Yeah, I'm black.
And say it was the truth. It was the worst thing I could say.
No, that's cool, brother. Like I said, the more you communicate, the more I know you trust me and you love me. The more I'm around somebody, I'm watching what I say, the more I know I'm around the wrong person. That's why I talk the way I do in my classes. Because anybody that can accept me as I am, I'd much rather they get offended and go. Because then they're happier because they're not around me, and I'm happier because they're not around me. So we both win. Could it be that simple? Yes, it is. Be authentically yourself, and you're guaranteed to piss somebody off. If you're not pissing at least 10 people off a day, then you're not being true to yourself. It means you're pleasing and appeasing and accommodating. Or somebody's going to go, you're selfish! Oh! I'm being true to myself. How would I know? They're calling me selfish. That's how I know I'm being true to myself, because that's the clue that the universe always gives you when you're really being true to yourself. Everybody be saying, you're so selfish, you just think just about yourself. If nobody ever says that to you, you're probably not really being true to yourself. Let's do it together. So remember tomorrow to do the pissed off test. It's a very important test. I've given it to people many times in my life. Oh boy. Yes.
I have a question. Because I don't want to rock the boat, but we're connected. And
yeah, you can test me right now to see if I meant anything I just said about not hating somebody that says something I don't like.
Because I go to Alcoholics Anonymous.
What'd you say?
I go to Alcoholics Anonymous. And one of the main things in the big book that they say is selfishness, self-centeredness is the root of our troubles.
It depends on what you mean when you say self and self-centered. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about self-centered in terms of ego-centered, where you're so focused in on yourself to the exclusion of anything that for anybody else, any love for anybody else, any peace for anybody else, any awareness for anybody else. Our self-centered is coming from the perspective that you need to value yourself more. That I need to do what I really need. In other words, one of these days, brother, it's going to wake up to you that you're not hurting anybody by being yourself. That you don't owe anybody any explanation about you just being yourself. It's one of the deepest realizations that you ever make. In other words, you're not doing anything to hurt anybody just because you want to do something different. That's not an automatic crime that you committed because you have another way you'd like to experience yourself in any given moment. But we've been so manipulated by ourselves that we actually feel guilty about daring to do what we want to do with ourselves. And all those people we're concerned about, probably none of them help you pay your bills. All those, the them that we're so concerned about, what are they gonna think? I've been looking for the infamous they for a long time. What are they gonna think? What are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? It's like, wait a minute. At the end of the day, they ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I need to be doing what I need to do. Because in the end, that's who I'm with.
Yeah.
You never hurt anybody by being happy yourself. It's the best, most loving thing you could do for everybody you know. Because your happiness witnesses to them that they're not doing anything to hurt you. How could they feel like they're guilty when you're joyful? How can they feel like they're guilty and when they're around you, they see that you're content? They can't feel like they're doing anything bad, negative, guilty, anything. So your happiness actually helps other people recognize and feel innocent. And it's innocence that gets rid of all pain. All pain comes from guilt, according to the Course. So your greatest enemy is guilt. But we've been tricked into believing that guilt is good, and if you don't feel guilty, you're some kind of sociopath. No, you make mistakes. You're not guilty, you just made a mistake, an error that you can learn from. They can be lovingly healed. So I'm not saying we don't make mistakes, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying guilt just guarantees you will do it again. Guilt just guarantees you're going to come back one more time for that one. Because it's a request for punishment. And when you think you need punishment, you're going to keep doing the thing over and over again that's going to give it to you. And that's usually whatever the thing is that makes you feel the most guilty. You know, so you make somebody feel guilty about something, you just guarantee they're going to do it again. If you help them feel guilty, you really can't make them feel guilty, but if you help them feel guilty, they're just going to do it again. You know, he did this, and I made him feel so guilty, he'll never do that again. Yes, he will. You just won't know about it, if at all possible. That's the only thing that happens when you attack people. They still do whatever they were doing before. They just hide it better now. You didn't change them at all. Takes a while to get that one too. You know, you tell somebody to communicate with you and get honest with you and open up, and then you come down on them. How could you? How don't that you? Now, you're gonna open up to me next week?
Yeah.
Of course not. They think you're a lunatic maniac. They're not gonna open up to you anymore. And then you'll be mad about that. I don't understand why you don't tell me the truth. Because you crucify me every time I do. I'd rather have peace than your approval.
That's so true.
Yeah, I'd rather have peace than your approval. If you act crazy every time I tell you something, I'm gonna stop telling you. Because I really want to have peace more than I care about whether or not you think I'm being honest and open.
With children, look how that
Peace first.
Same thing.
It's only my ego that needs you to tell me anything you don't want to tell me anyway. That's only a reflection of my own fear. Nobody owes me an explanation. Because I know nothing is happening to me that I didn't create anyway. So they don't have to explain to me. I know where it came from. Me! The explanation presupposes I don't know what's causing what's happening. But if you know you're the creator of your experience, nobody has to explain anything to you. You know that you're receiving some form of what you yourself are asking for. That's where it came from. The form doesn't really matter. What I need to do is get rid of that desire to punish myself constantly. That's the problem. Who cares what flavor it comes in? Poison that tastes sweet will kill you just as fast as the bitter kind. Remember that. I like that sweet poison, don't you?
Yeah.
I know. It kills you just as dead, though. You know, I had some sweet poison relationships. Haven't you had some sweet poison relationships?
Yeah.
As well as some really cool ones. But you didn't know it was sweet poison at first, did you? No. Did you? No, you thought that was like the healing waters. It's like somebody taking arsenic and putting on there, right, putting a label that says Pepsi Cola. it's mislabeled don't mean that I'm gonna kill you. So you need to be able to recognize when you're doing something to hurt yourself, no matter what form it's coming in. If you want to avoid pain. Woo! I have to know when the sweet poison is attracting me as quick as I know when the bitter poison is attracting me. I need to be aware that I'm getting ready to hurt myself when it's something I think I like, as much as I hurt myself with stuff I think I don't like. Actually, the stuff I think I don't like is easier to recognize. So I need to be more conscious when it comes to the stuff I think I like. How do I get past that? I need to conceptualize things that have to do with love so it can free my mind from all these negative, fearful thoughts. I need to have some communication coming down between my mind and my heart now. You should be doing things you can get your heart into. You should write down oughta, gotta, shoulda on the sheet of paper and burn it up. Oughta, gotta, shoulda, I oughta, I gotta, I shoulda, I oughta, I gotta, I have to, oughta, good, gotta, after, have to, oughta, gotta, shoulda, shoulda, oughta, gotta, have to. That's our communication. Shoulda, gotta, oughta, have to, gotta, oughta, have to, shoulda. So it's like a weird language, isn't it? But that's us. So when you wake up, you like, I'm trying to cut down, what oughta should I cut down on today? What gotta, what have to should I, how many less of those can I do today? I'll read this little paragraph one more time before you go out. Speak a language of images and concepts that touch your heart and serve your mind. Start giving yourself images and concepts and thoughts that touch your heart. And don't judge it. In other words, the thing that might touch your heart, somebody else might not approve of. They might not even understand it. But you go for what touches your heart. And if it's really touching your heart, it's not going to be something that's innately harmful to anybody else anyway. Because love doesn't hurt. Fear does. Love never hurt me? No, Raj. Love never hurt you. In your life, love has never hurt you. But fear has. But you just were calling it love, and so you got hurt by it because you mislabeled fear love. That's why it seems like you got hurt by somebody you love. No, you got hurt by somebody you feared, and you called it love. So I should be saying, instead of I'm falling deeply, deeply in love with you, it should be being honest and going, I'm falling deeply, deeply in fear of you, baby. This fear I have of you is deeper than any fear I've ever known. Let's get married. How do I know it's fear? Because there's a part of me that is afraid of losing it. There's a part of me that defends it. There's a part of me that tries to control them to have it. That's the sweet poison. The fear I like. I call it, I'm in love with you. What do you mean? You are a fear I like. Thank you for listening to this much rant. All of you have exceptional wee-wees. I just can tell it. Our wee-wee is bigger than it was when we came in here. It feels so good to be with y'all. So, all right. Sunday at 1 o'clock, next Course in Miracles class. It's the next Course in Miracles class at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah. It's called A Miracle is a Right Perception.
By any chance, were any of your presentations while you were gone recorded and posted or will be posted?
Well, my first trip to London, that whole thing was recorded. I've been meaning to start, share some clips from it, so that's going to be shown too. Yeah, the last one, no. but the first time I went over there. And it was an incredible trip. It was mind-boggling. It opened me up at another level. I saw things that I never dreamed that I would see. I experienced things beyond my wildest imagination. And that was just in the train station. Who can tell me one thing they heard tonight that they don't want to forget, but they've forgotten, so they can't tell me? Yes.
Most of my thoughts are what's keeping me in prison and not freeing me.
Thank you.
They're keeping me from being free.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Something that you heard tonight that you don't mind saying out loud?
Sometimes you think you're drinking, just paraphrasing, something that's like a nectar, but it's actually poison to you. And it's hurtful to you.
Yeah, but you don't know it.
But you don't know it.
Yeah, at the time you really think it's the coolest thing that you could have ever experienced.
Or you think it's helping you, but,
right.
But it ain't.
Listening to my heart will free my mind.
Listening to my heart will free my mind. Listening to my heart will free my mind.
I should be as loving to myself as I am to others.
Yeah, if I just treated myself as well as I treat everybody else around me, I'd see a change. Anybody else?
I was gonna say the same thing.
I love what you said, that what I thought that I've manifested that I have done in the past is manifested.
Yeah, that whole definition of karma, wasn't that deep? So what you think somebody else is doing to you is nothing but the result of a thought that you had in the past finally physically manifesting. And so how do you avoid the results of your thinking? Anybody kind of wondering about that right now? They're a little scared, wondering when their thoughts going to catch up with them?
You know, when you said, what's happening now is because of the thought we've had previously.
Right.
I'm going like 25 years?
That's right. That's right. It depends on how powerful that thought was. But it's very easy to transcend karma. All you have to do is remember who you are and that you're loved and to be loving right now. Because if you're loving right now, you're not even on the same frequency that you were on when you created that thought. So it wouldn't have anybody to come back to because you wouldn't be there. You know, it's like when you first put that thought out. Let's say you were moving like this. I will want to kick people's butts. So now you got this butt kicking thought coming back towards you. Okay, and you heard me say that. You go, oh my God, I got a lot of really crappy thoughts coming back. I'm scared. Okay. Then you said, well, I'm choosing to know the love and the oneness and the truth about myself. I'm choosing to connect my heart and my mind. I'm choosing to start using my mind to conceptualize concepts and images of love so that it'll free my mind in. So now you're up here. So that thought come back around and be like, hey, where'd he go? I want to kick your butt. Where'd he going? Shooting scenery with love. That's how you get rid of karma. That's how you fly. That's how you fly. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. You're not on the same vibration that you were at that time. So therefore you don't have to meet the result of that thought because you're not there. Unless you just haven't changed and you're basically the same person you were then. And you can tell when you're around people that's that way because you constantly see them getting clobbered by their life all the time. And it's been happening for years and years and years and years and years. They don't understand. Well, you're still there. Every time you come back around, you're still there. You come back around, you still. And you come back around, you take butt fly, fool. Love, man and heart, joy, love. I want my man and heart, joy, the man and heart. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming and having me remember. It's such a blessing in my life. Hugs are available for those who would not be mortified at the thought.
We love you, Earl.
I love you too.